What's up, Internet? Corey Zamir here, collecting with Corey. It's cold outside. It's about 10 degrees outside right now. That means it's time for an eBay adventure.
E to the U to the E, man. Where the hood, where the hood at? Had a nigga in the truck where the wood at. All the niggas acting up where the wolves at.
Now, one thing I want to do with this eBay adventure, and it kind of stems from me picking up Lufia 2, Lunar 2, like, games I've been wanting for a while. I kind of want eBay adventure to be more that kind of show where it's just like, I go after something that I really want. Not like, hey, let's get some cheap blank games. Let's get some, like stuff like that. Like, I want to want these games. And I've also cut out a lot of the searching aspect on eBay. Just because I feel like that adds a lot of shitty editing. Just because, like, I'll be talking during it, and it's just like, but I'm just typing something in. And you don't need it there, so let me know how you like it. Let's go. Like I said, cut out a lot of the extraneous shit. So what we have is my already looked up watch list. These are the best items of the games that I really want right now on eBay. So first up, we have Breath of Fire 4 here. And oddly enough, if I got this Breath of Fire, this would actually complete my Breath of Fire collection, aside from any handhelds that might have came out. I don't know, I haven't really looked into handhelds for Breath of Fire games, but Breath of Fire 4 is the last one I need on home console. So I'm looking at this one, currently $26. It's a bid, ends in about a day. So we'll keep an eye on that. I'm not going to bid on it just yet. I need to try and figure out what my bottom dollar is on that, and maybe I'll try and snipe it. Next up, we have one of my favorite Sega Genesis games of all time, even though I fucking sucked at it and I was not good at it whatsoever. I absolutely loved Mutant League Football. And I love the Mutant League cartoon series that they had for as short as it ran. I always enjoyed watching that on my mornings. This one is actually complete with trading cards, which I didn't even know was a thing. Right now they want $60 or best offer with $4 shipping. So we'll definitely take a look at that. Let's hit off with a lowball. Start it off as we like to do. I would be very glad to get this for, I was going to say 40, but we have to factor in the shipping. Let's try 36. Alright, so we'll have to wait to hear back from them. Get back to my watch list. Here's a game that I've been looking at for so long. It's one of the titles that I convinced my mom to pick up for me back when I was a kid, and I was spoiled, and I had a dream, an azure dream, you might say, of owning all the PlayStation 1 RPGs. And I was trying to go about that in alphabetical order. Thus, Azure Dreams was in my collection at one point. Unfortunately, this game has kind of sprung up in value since I've been looking at it on eBay. There was a time, maybe a few months ago, where I could have bought this for $40, buy it now. And right now the lowest one that is listed is $48.99 with $3 shipping or best offer. So I'm going to try and hit them with what I could have paid before, hit them with an offer of $37, so about $40, submit this offer, and hopefully they'll be getting back to me today. Next up is a game that I came across while searching for Wild Arms on here, and I didn't even know they had a PSP Wild Arms game. So let's do a little bit of research, because I don't want to go into this blind. Let's just check and see what price charting even has to say about this Wild Arms PSP game. See, this is why, here's a clear, blatant example of why you can't trust price charting. Loose price, $12.74. Complete price, $10.50. Let's click off of that. and check it out for ourselves. So we got Wild Arms XF PSP. And we'll search complete, and then we'll go down to the sold listings. $23. See, this is what it sees. That's how stupid price charting is. It literally only sees this. Because then you also have one that went for $19.99, $22.49, $18. So what we're seeing is that's not that bad of a price. So let's make an offer on this. So it's going to be about $3 shipping. I would absolutely love to get this game for about $15 or $16, so we'll offer $13 and see what they say. So far no one's rejected me outright with their automatic thing, which is both fortunate and unfortunate, I think. I prefer to know that if they're not going to take something that they, you know, had the forethought to put the parameters in place to just reject outright if it's too low. Here we have Atelier Iris 2, another game that I've been wanting for quite some time. It would complete my Atelier Iris trilogy for the PlayStation 2. The only problem with this listing is it says it's complete, doesn't have any pictures. Seems lazy, but $18.99 free shipping. Gonna make another lowball offer. Would love to pick this up for $13. We'll submit it, and we'll, just like everything else so far, we'll have to wait to hear back. Alright, here's one that's actually been on my watch list for a while, so I'm actually gonna skip it because I'm not interested in getting it today. It's the Kirby Tilt and Tumble Game Boy Color Box and inserts only. I've messaged this guy a few times and I don't believe he's ever gotten back to me. So I just got notification that I won Azure Dreams. That is fucking awesome. So Azure Dreams right here is mine for the low cost of about $40. Alright, let's continue with the list though. Still a possibility that I'm going to pick something else up. Tax return season and all. We got Lufia and the Fortress of Doom. This one's up here for $94.99. I believe I looked at this last time that I did an eBay adventure. So I'm going to actually move down to this one that's a little bit cheaper. And I'm going to see if they would accept an offer. This one's in a little bit worse condition, as we can see here. Manual especially. The cartridge looks very clean. So I'm going to message this seller and see if they would take $60. And we'll be right back. Alright, and we're back. Few minutes later, and we already have some counter offers to look at. First up, let's take a look at this one for Wild Arms XF. I believe I offered him $13? $13? Let's come back with $17. Can we make a counter offer to that? Come up to 14. I love the hardball, especially since it's a game that I'm not kicking myself if I don't win. I didn't even know it existed until today. But it's a Wild Arms game, so I have some faith that it'd be pretty good. Next up, we are going to counter offer this Mutant League football. I offered 36, he came back with 55. Alright, I'm glad I started low, because I want to continue to lowball this guy a little bit. I'll go up to 40 here. And send it back to him. Alright, let's continue on with our list here. What I'm looking for, I didn't even get to the end before I had offers rolling in and, you know, offers being accepted. You're down here. I did send an offer, well, a verbal offer, I guess, through a message for this Lufia. Who knows when or if they'll get back to me. Now, of course, we have Toe Jam and Earl here. I've never played the first game, but the Panic on Funkatron sequel is probably my favorite Sega Genesis game of all time, and one that I always love to rent, and I'm very happy to have in my collection now. So I would like to eventually get the first game, not exactly at the prices it's currently going for, but we do have the option to lowball. Now this one is looking for $2.60 shipping, and is originally asking about $55. I'm gonna make an offer of $38, so I'd be paying a little bit over $40 for it. Let's submit that offer, and we'll have to wait to hear back because no one has their thing set up. In this next game, Wild Arms 2, Second Ignition. There's no offer on it. I will send a verbal offer to see if they would take 13 plus shipping. And we'll check back and see if anybody accepts or declines or counter offers in the next part. Alright, so as we see here, it's about 24 hours later. I done fucked up. I forgot about Breath of Fire 4, but I'm okay with that. I did hear back on Wild Arms XF for the PSP, and I offered him back $15 and he immediately accepted, so we're going to be paying for that. What else is going on right now? Did a little bit of more haggling on the Mutant League football. My current offer is $42. I don't think I'll be getting it just because we've barely been budging from our original offers. I've moved up maybe $6 over the course of 3 offers, and he's only come down maybe $7 total, so we're probably just not going to meet up on that one. Have not heard back on Atelier Iris 2, which is unfortunate because it's low enough that my offer I think is reasonable, and it's a game I would love to get in my collection. And the multiple games that I've sent messages on, Lufia, not that Lufia, but another Lufia, and the Toe Jam and Earl, I have not heard anything back on either. To be more specific, Lufia for $77.99 I have not heard back on, and this Wild Arms 2 I actually sent a message on and I have not heard back on either, so we'll check back tomorrow. Alright guys, let's take a look at what we got in this eBay adventure. Picked up 2 games. 2 games I actually really want to play. One that I've played before, and one that I didn't know existed before I started looking in this episode. First up, the one that I didn't even know about was Wild Arms XF, and I actually got this from a subscriber, oddly enough. Bought it on eBay. He sent me a message just like, hey, I love your videos. Shout out to Roth if you're watching this. Thank you for the extra memory stick Pro Duo you left in there for me. Might be able to put that to use someday. Very cool to find that game. Oh, very cool to pick it up on eBay. I didn't know it existed. I absolutely love strategy RPGs. They're my favorite brand of RPG, I guess you can say. And Wild Arms has always been a series that I've enjoyed, but never had a chance to play enough. The original Wild Arms, as we all know, came out right before Final Fantasy VII, and I remember, I believe I bought it, or did I rent it? I don't remember if I rented it or bought it, but I played a little bit of it, and then Final Fantasy VII came out, and I was just like, it's fine, that's fine. And one of my friends slept over for a weekend, and he was just like, hey, let's rent this, because he's my friend that we would play through all these other RPGs with. And we absolutely love Final Fantasy VII, and we never looked back to Wild Arms. So, very happy to have this. Thanks again, Roth. The other game is a game from my childhood. Back when I was getting all the RPGs on PS1, obviously this one begins with an A, so I was able to pick it up because I was going alphabetically back then. I really didn't have any rhyme or reason, just spending my mother's money willy-nilly, absolutely a spoiled child. Finally have Azure Dreams back in my collection, and I absolutely love this game for one aspect and hated it for all the others. For one, this was back in the day. How old was I? This came out here around 1998, so we're talking 6th, maybe 7th grade Corey Zamir. And I remember reading in PSM magazines, like, they used to have the Japanese section, or the, Japan section, basically showed off games that would never come over here because they were just not genres we cared about. And a lot of those that I would see and be like, oh, that'd be cool to try, were dating sims. I was in 6th grade, what do you want from me? This game kind of offered that, like it had a dating sim aspect, which is what I wanted from this game. What I didn't want was a fucking hard as balls dungeon crawler, which puts you through a dungeon, and if you leave the dungeon, you have to start over. There's no... You can collect demon eggs and use them to fight for you. I vaguely remember the dungeon aspects, but I absolutely loved wandering around town talking to all the people there. This fucking dungeon, though. I think it had 50 floors, and I think the highest I ever made it was to like the 5th or 6th floor. And I used to have to keep starting over. But, very happy to have it in my collection. Got it for, I believe, about $40, which is a great price because when I first started looking for it online years ago, it was going for at most $40, and recently it's been creeping up in price, with a lot of people asking around $50 or more. So I was very happy when they accepted my offer, which had me paying about $40. So that's all I got, but there is one more thing I wanted to talk to you guys about. On a weekend adventure and video game hunting you saw a few weeks ago, failed to meet our like goal for me to be subjected to the What's in My Mouth challenge. And for those of you who have never heard of this, it is a challenge where I am blindfolded, and Alicia, she's so excited about this, I'm not, gets to select multiple items, possibly infinity items, that she gets to put in my mouth, and I have to guess what it is. Now, no dicks. Gotta be able to put this on YouTube, after all, and I don't want that. And it keeps going until I guess 3 correct items. And I'm a very picky eater, so this is gonna be terrible for me. I already know it. She's already said, like, she can't wait to go through, like, the vegetable aisle, and it's just like... And if we hit 50 likes on this video, we'll have to do that challenge. So hit that like button if you want to see me suffer. Like the video regardless. Subscribe if you're new. And as always, keep it real, Internet. I love you guys.